Hello guys and welcome to today's strategy development session. I am once again back with Blayn. Blayn, how are we, my friend?
Not bad, Kieran. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad too. Welcome. We'll give everybody a moment to join and then we're going to jump straight into the thick of it today. I'm once again going to hand the reins over to Blayn as we start building out some strategies. I'm still putting the logistics together, if you will, on getting the Darwin set up for the purpose of charity. I was going to set it up in my own personal name last week. Quantum Ghost, hello, the best colleagues ever. How are we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. I was trying to set up the Darwin that we're gonna. So basically, for the guys who weren't here, or if you're watching this on a recording or weren't here for the past couple of weeks, essentially what we're looking to do is a series over the next few weeks, if not months, potentially even for the whole of 2026, where we build a Darwin as a community with Blayn and I leading the charge, teaching you guys about strategy development using no-code building blocks, so things like FX Dreamer, Perfectus AI, and Strategy Quant, etc. Deploy them onto a Darwin, and then any fees or any performance fees that Darwin incurs through the likes of trading, we will then pass on to a charity. It will be down to you guys completely which charity we pass it on to. The problem is, if I set up the Darwin in my name and then withdraw the funds to pay a charity, I have to pay tax on that. So I'm currently speaking to the guys about getting an account set up that we can do direct through the business, which I don't think will be an issue, but it's not an issue now, at least for the stage that we're in, because we don't even have a working strategy yet. So welcome to the guys who are joining now. Blayn, I'm going to hand it over to you to begin today's session.
No worries. Thanks for joining us today. Some of you that were here last week, you'll know that we're going to build a strategy today. And I'm going to again walk you through it step by step. Then we are going to test it. So the strategy, one of the resources that I shared last week was Oxford Strategies. And at the very end, I said, we'll start building the strategy. So for any of those that weren't here last week, if you go through the Discord, there is like a PDF of resources that you can use, and you'll find this website on it. And today we're going to build the short-term trading, your Friday momentum trading strategy. And basically, the trade idea is we're going to be taking long trades. An entry can be placed only on a Friday. So this strategy, we're only going to be trading on a Friday, and we are going to be looking at the high and low of Monday to Thursday. And basically, we'll be taking the breakout of that. So, yeah, a buy stop is placed one tick above or below the highest high of the last 4 days. So I said Monday to Thursday. There is also 10 simple moving average and a 40. So we're only taking buys when the 10 is above the 40. Vice versa for shorts, when the 10 is below the 40, we're taking a short entry. Sell stop with the So then we'll be exiting the trades on the open of Monday. So my thoughts are we're taking the volatility of Friday, and we'll probably be holding the trade over the weekend, and that can take advantage of, say, gapping. Not my favorite, but if it has an edge, it has an edge. So if you go down here, this is just for a little bit of context. Most of this probably won't make sense to you, but you can chuck it in Gemini, ChatGPT, or any other sort of AI thing to sort of descript what it means. Once you understand what everything like I and -1 is on Oxford Strat, it becomes very easy to build these things, because in most strategies, sometimes it'll give you an illusion, it'll give you an image of what the strategy looks like, so you can visualize it on a chart if you want to do it on Trading View. Sometimes it's just like this. So it'll give you the setup, the filter, entry, exit, and it'll tell you sort of what sort of sensitivity tests. So sensitivity tests could be their optimization for, in this case, it's moving average. It could be, looking at the time horizon. It could be anything. A sensitivity test can be testing anything. It just depends on what sort of strategy you're building. And it also tells you what sort of instruments it was traded on. So it was traded on 42 futures. If you want to click into that, you can find it out. 42 markets over the past 35 years. And it gives you some diagrams of what sort of results you were getting. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, over the 42 assets, it was negative. But I wouldn't be too worried about that, because sometimes that's a collective over the 42 markets. they could work individually on certain ones. So we're just going to simply build this today anyway in FX Dreamer. Now, the first thing that I will be doing is we're only looking to do it on a Friday. Now, the way I'm going to build it is going to be a little bit more advanced, but it would be a good lesson for some people to see how exactly I'm going about building these. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is adding in my constants and variables first. It just means that it's going to be easy for going forward, and you'll be able to understand why I'm doing this. So I'm simply just going to put look back here, and we're going to change the value to 4 because we'll be looking at the past 4 days. I am also going to put I'm going to put everything in here anyway, so we can test lots of different things. If it falls through into next week, then it falls through into next week. But I'm going to put in on timeframes. Basically, that's just MQL5 code to say that we're going to be looking at a time frame basis. So I'm going to put LTF, lower time frame, and period. Let's do H1. I'm then going to put multiplier. I'll just put multi just for short. And we're going to put 1. But what constants are in actual things, like when you're in MetaTrader, you can change those constants within MetaTrader rather than having to keep going back and redoing a strategy on FX Dreamer. So once you understand it, it's very, very good for time. Like, it means that it's less time consuming if you're wanting to build strategies. So it's very good. We'll also put in take profit, so we'll put in 100. Just you'll see in a minute. I don't need to explain everything, and I can explain it when it's all there. So we're probably just going to go with that for now. Right. So rules. Yeah. So I'm going to do a once per bar, and then I'm going to do weekday. Connect these together, and we are only going to allow it on a Friday. So then it's only once per bar every Friday. That's when this next tree will happen. I am going to put in high in variable and low in variable. And what these will be is just marking out your highs and lows for the Monday to Thursday on each side. Okay, so we'll put this modified variable in here. Okay, that didn't update, my bad. There we go. So now you'll see in the variable we can click in here high, and we are just going to measure the highest high of the past 4 candles. And we're going to do that on the daily because we're looking at the daily values. And in variable 2, just the complete opposite. And then what I'm going to do is put this actually in here. Okay. So that is the first sort of basis of what this model is. So once per bar, meaning once per, let's put this to the day. So basically what the system's doing is once per day, it is going to set our highs and lows to 0 because we just want it to be a clean slate. And then it goes on to the Friday, and it just means that we're going to go on the Friday. And on the Friday, we're going to mark out our highs and lows. So basically what we're doing is you can see entry taking place on Friday, buy stop, high of the last 4 and low of the past 4. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to ignore the 1 tick just for now because that doesn't really make too much difference when you're doing your testing in this regard. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to fill out the moving average. So it was 10-day moving average and 40-day moving average. So actually, we're going to change this slightly. Apologies. We're going to now add in the moving averages. So 10 above the 40. For candle ID, we want to look at the last day's candle close. So probably looking at Thursdays in this case. And that, and then we'll just do the same for the other side. And for the side, we're going to get rid of the high. This will just be empty now, and we're only calculating the low this side because this side is what we're looking for when the MA is below. And then we'll do the high this side. Okay. So to go back over this again, to make it make more sense now, is once per day, we're clearing the highs and lows because you might have a bit left over from the last week. On the Friday, for the buy side, we want the 10 to be above the 40, and we want on the sell side, the 10 to be below the 40. And then after
retail, I will of course adopt you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when the 10.
Sorry for interrupting you there, Blayn.
All right.
Anybody who's wondering, Tayal asked me if I could adopt him. Of course, I've got to say yes. Of course.
So we've now marked out our trees. When the 10 is above 40, we're measuring out the high and low of the past 4 days. When the 10 is below the 40, we're measuring the high and low of the past 4 days. Okay, so we've got the logic in, and that is basically the EA will now be able to tell where the high and low is on the Friday and if it is above or below the EMA. So the next thing that we need to do now is actually make a trade. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put a no position. So we're only trading once. We only want to trade when there is no position open. And we want market properties. Now, this is quite important. I always put the bid because we want to take it when it's actually, the breakout is actually occurring. Sometimes the ask and the bid prices with spreads can be, a lot wider. So you might be tagged in by the spread, and it might not have actually broken out. So it's very good to include this sort of thing for the buy, and obviously ask for the sell. So value, again, this is why we save these values into the variables. So then we can then put them in here. So basically what is happening now when there's no position, when the market's bid price crosses above the high of the past 4 days, then we can do our next tree. So we press buy, and risk per balance. Let's just do something simple. Let's just do a 1% risk per trade in this case. And our stop loss, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so the stop loss is using an ATR. So we're going to do the exact same, and it is using it in steps of 6. So length is 20, stop 6. So I don't personally would want to use something that big, but we will make sure that we can test all the sort of ATR variables. So average true range, if no one knows what it is, it's just an indicator that basically measures like the daily range, or in the daily range of using the daily candle, or the internal range of what you're using for the day. So let's just pick something simple. Let's just pick a 1 hour. So we're using ATR, the 1 hour, and adjust. This is where I was on about that we're going to use our constants. So we can see we've got multi here, and we've got 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a times multi here. Oh, sorry, I need to put in capitals. Yeah, that's not working. And basically what this is this is just going to make, we can test a whole different, range on this. And it just means we'll testing from the multiples of 1 to 6. So, if it's the adjusters times 1, we're trading just 1 times the 1 hour ATR. If it's times 2, we're trading 2 times the 1 hour ATR, and so on all the way up to whatever level we want to test it. So that's basically what I done for the constants. I forgot to say for the 2 6, it just froze a bit. For here, time frame, I'm just putting the lower time frame, and again, the whole point of that constant is so then I don't need to keep coming back to FXDreamer and uploading a new file to MetaTrader every single time I want to change the time frame. So this is very important when you're doing FXDreamer. It's in their sort of guide into what to do for these sort of things. So it's very worthwhile reading their guide on what the constants and variables are, the types, and once you get the hang of that, then it becomes pretty quick to build things. So going back to the project, take profit. We're just going to use a percentage of stop loss, and again, it's going to feel like I'm repeating myself here, but the constant TP, this is going to go in here. This will make a bit more sense again when we go into MetaTrader, but this is the setup that we're going to be using. We're going to be using the ATR stop loss, percentage of stop loss. So, if it's 1 ATR, we're going to be take profit, 1 ATR the other end. Now, what's important is once we've crossed that high, we then don't want that sort of calculation to be there anymore, because if we say we're in the trade and then we're out the trade, that value will still be there. So if price passes that point again, they're not getting another trade. But we only want the one trade from when it crosses the first time. So we'll then move the high to 0. So because it will not cross the value of 0. And that is simply it for the buy side. And we're just going to do the exact same for the sell side. Apologies, I'll just get this built as quick as I can so we can move on to the next part. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I can answer them.
I feel like we should get some cool background music for these sessions.
Probably.
Just a lo-fi beat in the background.
I just can't multitask at times. Okay, so this is the system built as it is right now. But I'm pretty sure that it said that it wanted us to close exit on next day's open, normally Monday. Okay. We can build that, but for now, I think we'll just go with this. And we'll take it into MetaTrader, and then we can bring it back to then do that, to test, to see the difference between how it works this way, and then let's see if it has any impact on results if we close it on a Monday. So this is the basic system. Just going to simply download it to MetaTrader, and I'll bring MetaTrader up to bear with me. Sorry, I've got quite a lot of projects open at the moment. I need to clear it up a bit. Okay, so we have the system here, and the constants are now going to be in our inputs. So look back period 4, lower time frame. This is just going to be our stop loss that we're using. Multi is again what the multiple of the stop loss is going to be, and TP is 100. So 100 is just 100% of the stop loss. Okay, so we're just going to go through and test on all these markets right now. What I'm going to do is we're going to run an optimization to see what sort of levels it works on. So we're not going to optimize look back because that's the rules. We're not going to optimize take profit at the moment. We're just going to optimize the multi, and we're going to look at different levels of ATR. So how you do this is you go to optimization. Fast, slow, doesn't matter. All we're trying to do right now is get data to validate this strategy. So we just want to make sure that we're getting positive results. And then from there, we can take it further into a more, proper targeted optimization without actually, over optimizing it, because we're looking for robust systems. And if we do get results that I would see robust, I'll tell you exactly why I see them as robust. So we're just going to run this test. We'll do it on pound-dollar to begin with. And we're just going to run a test. This could take a couple of minutes. Let me just see if this is going to work. Yeah, cool. So these are going to start running. In the meantime, if anyone wants to drop some questions, feel free. If anyone has questions to what I've built and doesn't quite understand it, just ask questions so then you can learn as well.
What asset you running it on, Blayn? I was
just pound-dollar. We'll run it on pound-dollar first, and then we'll just go through the ones that we can do anyway for today. We'll test on a multitude of assets today. We'll do currencies, commodities, indices, and we might look at oil. Just depends how fast these tests run.
Oil.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't like trading pound-dollar either, really. I mean, I've got a few strategies.
Yeah.
You've seen the pictures Tal sent into into the Discord. Kieran, God of XAQP, Punisher of paper hands. Thou shalt zoom out. Oh my God, these are brilliant. XAQP changed my life. That actually looks like a YouTube thumbnail. Sponsored by Vibes. Oh my love. If you're not in the Darwinex Zero Discord, you've got to get in here, man, because Tail is just dropping jokes, pictures in all the time. The creation. Oh my life. Maybe I'll change the stream pictures to something like this: one man, one ticker, no explanation. Oh God. XAQP had a nice recovery today. So Tail messaged the Discord asking what was going on and why I wasn't making him money, because XAQP was down on the day, and I was like, a bit confusing, refresh it. And yeah, he hadn't refreshed his page this afternoon when we'd had a bit of a bump up.
Yeah,
just shows you how volatile markets have been recently. Is like,
yeah,
I've had a tough couple of days. I think my return for this month has been fluctuating 2% pretty much every day for the past 3 days. Wild.
That Monday was terrible today. This week.
Yeah.
That intervention from the Bank of Japan was that hit me a little bit hard.
Right. Yeah. Bring up a chart of that and show them where I told you I closed my trades.
Right. Let's see.
As like a footer to this is I do occasionally manually intervene in the trades on XAQP, which I'm sure everybody's aware of. I talk about it a lot anyway. So sometimes I will get involved. I will cut exposure. I will hedge out positions or do whatever I feel like I need to, remove pending orders. You know, for whatever reason I deem necessary. And on Monday, I text Blayn and I was like, I woke up and it was like, I think it was one of my highest returning days of all time. It was like 5 or 6 times my average up day. And basically we were so far past ATR on all of the trades I was on. So I closed them all. And I think it was it 7:15 in the morning or 7:20 that I closed them?
Yeah, it was this horrible candle here.
So I must have closed them about 2 minutes. Bearing in mind, I had about 5 positions long on dollar yen. And yeah, Blayn texted me and he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, literally, I was like long from like quite a few positions here. Everything was looking good. And then I got slapped in the face hard. I want to see if I can actually bring it up. Wonder if it'll show me the daily sort of what happened in the week.
Yeah, you could zoom in.
Yeah. 2 seconds. Yeah, there you go. So everything's looking not too bad, and then I get slapped hard there. That almost 2% within about 15 minutes. It was horrible. I think that's like one of my worst down periods in the space of an hour. I've had some bad days at times, but yeah, that was just absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it was a tough start to the week for sure. I mean, I narrowly escaped, but that's only by luck, really. But yeah, it's definitely a tough start to the week.
Manual can help there.
In an optimization, Blayn, or
so literally just following the test. So the strategy uses it uses a step of like ATR multipliers. So it's from 1 to 6 because it doesn't give you exact as to what stop loss they ran for each test. So you kind of have to find it. That's the only downside with Oxford Strat. So we're using multiples of ATR. So I'm using a multiple of 1 to 6. So it means that 1 times 1 hour ATR is let's say the 1 hour ATR is 10. It's using a 10 stop loss. Times 2 multiplier means 20, and so on. So this is just going to give us a multitude of sort of stop losses to see does it work based on.
It's going to take 30 minutes to run. That is wow.
Is it?
Yeah, maybe it's because we're streaming. I don't know.
So we've already got a positive result. Yeah, it's probably because we're streaming. Actually, this shouldn't normally take too long. But yeah, we can see the first result has come in. We've used a 6 times 1 hour ATR multiplier, 96 trades, 9.8% return with a 12% drawdown. So right now, that's not a great return to drawdown, but we've done.
Go off optimization and go back onto it. You should have 3 now or 4. Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's almost done. That's weird. It was saying 30 something minutes.
It was.
Oh, there we go. Jobs are good.
There we go. So we can see that out the 6 tests, we have got 4 positive results, which it's a good start. The downside, I would say, for me is as much as this is the best return, if we times 2 the multiplier, it's negative. If we times 3 the multiplier, it's negative. So we would need to test the other side of 1. So go 0.5 to see is it still working, and also I would need to run it on real ticks because this can look good just from this sort of point of view, but this is just running every ticks, and Kieran can back me up and say, you can run it on every tick, and then when you run it in real ticks, it can change. And the reason it will change is because slippage, spread, there's a whole load of things that can actually go wrong in that sort of thing. But this is a good first initial test, so we can say that next week we'll probably take pound dollar further. let's just do one currency, one commodity, and probably an indices. So we'll trade everyone's favorite pair right now, which is gold.
Yeah, baby. I think silver's becoming everybody's favorite pair. Silver's the one.
Silver is the one this year.
Yeah, I think people have probably woken up to just how fun silver can be. What's it up on there today? And isn't that funny? It's like I just said that naturally. Like, what's it up today? It's not even a question. It's like, it's up 4% today. It's not even a question of like, is silver up? It's like, how much is it up? And generally, when something gets like that, that's when you know it's going to blow off. Like, I mean, that is just one of the wildest charts I've ever seen. That is that's wild, man. For such a legacy asset like silver to have that curve. I mean, usually this sort of pattern or run up doesn't end well, but hey, go out and buy all your silver bars. Not financial advice, of course, but go out and queue up for 5 hours to buy a silver bar if you really feel like you need to. Have you seen that, Blayn? The people like queuing outside metal shops and metal dealers to buy silver bars?
I've not, no.
I've seen loads.
Yeah. I think it's because like certain things are exempt from capital gains tax. I think when you buy physical assets, if it's, I think that's why you see lots of people in shops like that.
Yeah.
Depends where it is. I mean, you're not going to see anyone where I am.
They're not lining up at $10 per ounce or $20 per ounce, but they're lining up at $110 per ounce.
Even gold's pretty nuts as well.
Meanwhile, Bitcoin's struggling to get back above 88 grand.
Was that your call the other week?
Oh yeah. I told everybody to short it the other week, and now it's down.
Yeah,
it's down bad.
Weird how things like that happen, but who knows? Who knows what will happen with crypto? It could go through its boom and dump.
I hope Bitcoin goes down to those levels at 32 to 34K. I hope we have the great reset. I think with everybody knowing what we know now, if Bitcoin goes to 30, 20, 40, even maybe even 50, like there's a real nice area at 50K. Stick a level on, load up Bitcoin and stick a level on 50, like pretty much bang on 50K, and you'll see what level I mean. But yeah, that's it. You've got all those highs before it breaks, and then that low as well. I mean, I'm looking on the daily. It looks a little bit better on the daily, but it's the same as.
Let's have a look.
But like that is such a clean level that, oh god, if it gets down there, for me, again, not financial advice, it's load up season. I feel like maybe I need to set a banner at the bottom of the stream. Whatever Kieran says is not financial advice. Please don't follow. Please don't follow.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm not very active in, like crypto,
I used to be. Not a lot of people know this, but I used to work like full time. I say work. I used to consult on DeFi projects. So this was when I first went full-time trading. I made quite a bit of money in DeFi and crypto specifically. And I used to consult loads of DeFi projects, and it was like a great time to be alive. But then I got hit again by just scams and frauds, and yeah, basically lost everything that I ever made in crypto. So come full circle, and I don't touch too much anymore.
Yeah, no. Although having said that, I have purchased a crypto account on Darwinex Zero, so I'm going to see what I can do with that. So that should be quite an interesting project.
You're going to take my signals, aren't you? My sell at 90K, my buy at 50K.
Just
See you soon. Well,
all ended up at 50.
hope you're all well, my dude.
Yeah, I'm just going to load up pending orders at 50k.
That's not a bad shout, you know, especially on some more liquid exchanges. Who knows when a fat dump candle will come?
Yeah.
As the test going?
Pretty slow. 2.6. We're only 35% the way through. So I think definitely because streaming, it's taking up quite a bit of, well, it's obviously not running as fast.
What test are you running now?
It's on gold, just to test. We're going to try one currency, one commodity, and one index today. And then in the back end, I'm probably going to have to go run all these tests myself. And then next week, I should have a good, you know, we'll have like a good set of results we can take further. And I'll pick 3 and I'll take them further next week, or pick 1, you know, just however long it takes to get something good that I can actually show to everyone and not like hide any of the steps, you know, because I think it'll be very easy for me to say, you know, show a good result and people not know how we've got there.
I think I might have a couple of systems for it as well that I built on Strategy Quant today. Well, over the past couple of days, I've been testing some, like I say, that I built this week, but some of them are too correlated with some of my strategies I already have. So they're only going to be thrown in the bin, and they're decent. So I'd rather them go to use. So maybe we can put them aside and implement them on the charity Darwin. That's probably the best thing to do. Yeah. I've got one here on dollar yen, basically just using ATR, 1.48 profit factor, 3.7% return since 2018, 0.94% drawdown. Curve looks okay up until early 2025. It goes through a bit of a down period, but it's recovered nicely. So I'm going to put that to the side for, in fact, my trusty notion that everybody has probably seen before. And I mean, I guess if you pause the stream on my notion, you probably see all my strategies. So please don't do that. Not that you can take anything away from it. I'm going to add another table, and I'm going to start sticking the strategies in that we can implement when we've got the charity Darwin set up. Duplicate tab.
It'll be quite interesting to see how many strategies that we have running at the end of the year on the charity Darwin.
I'll build loads on strategy quant. I'll just keep building.
There'll be no more for my systems.
We'll just run yours at like 10x risk. Charity Darwin. Okay, so charity Darwin, edit view. How do I even set this up? I completely forgot. Filter. Type.
If anyone's concerned how quick these tests run, they don't normally take this long. They're normally pretty quick to run, aren't they, Kieran?
Yeah. But it depends on the strategy, actually. So what I've found is the ones that I build on strategy quant take like 5 times as long. Sometimes I'll have some come from SQX that take like 50 minutes to run just a basic test. I don't know what the reason for that is. I don't know.
I mean, I suppose like I've built this instant execution model, so it's going to take a little bit longer. Where if you run a pending order system, it's pretty quick. I probably should have run it in a pending order system today, but I'm just in such a habit of always using instant execution because, as you'll know, there's so much more like safety features you can put on it, like spread. There's so much more like slippage that a pending order doesn't really pick up.
Charity Darwin. Here we go. We're getting set up. We're gonna have a few strategies, hopefully by next week. I'll get the account set up. USDJPY H1 ATR. Okay, we'll save that.
Probably should have just run it like this.
CSM, I see we have got someone new too. We do indeed. We welcome Blayn to the team at the start of this month, start of this year. And he's joined me on the UK growth team. So it's a pleasure to have him here. And also Blayn owns DarwinIA, so it's great to have him on these sessions and help me with the strategy development stuff, because Blayn is the guy who introduced me to building algorithmic strategies and building a portfolio. So it's great to have him up here alongside me. CSM said, hello, Blayn. Hope you're doing all right.
How are we doing? Rob,
curve is getting steeper, by the way. I want to go to full EA, but I haven't done anything. Well, your answer is there, my friend. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Takes a bit of time to get used to it, but once you're there, you're there.
Rob will smash it. He just needs to commit to making that leap, I think.
Yeah. For me personally, I would say if you're not profitable yet and you've been doing it for a while, definitely give algo trading a go.
That's USDJP. For the guys who haven't been here since the beginning of this session, I know there's a lot more people. I think there's 460 people in the session at the moment. For the guys who haven't been here since the start, the purpose of these sessions is to be educational based on what Blayn and I do and what we've got our track records doing. But the main reason that we're actually doing this is we want to build a Darwin designated for the sole responsibility of donating to charity. That's going to be down to you guys who watch these streams on a regular basis. So essentially, Blayn and I are going to build some strategies over the coming weeks and months, and any fees that the Darwin accrues, whether it's, if we get it to gold and get investor capital, like that's going to be the cherry on top of this year, I think. But any fees that we make will get donated directly to charities. So that is the whole purpose of these sessions. And, hopefully in the meantime, you guys can learn a thing or two as well about algorithmic trading, building portfolios, and more specifically, building algorithmic trading systems without having to be a developer or a coder. ATR, so H1 time frame, charity Darwin, profit factor 1.48, sharp.
I can't make one profit without significant drawdown or a year possible growth. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like some of the EAs that both me and Kieran will run, sometimes they're not profitable over a year. It's more we're building a collective portfolio of multiple ones that kind of creates that diversity and offsets it, that it makes it profitable over the long run. So I wouldn't be too disheartened if you get a strategy that it over 1-2 years is not profitable, as long as over the larger time horizon it's got enough data. I would create it as part of the portfolio. If you see something that's profitable every year, for me that's where I question it, because the things that look perfect are never perfect when you put them live. So I wouldn't be too disheartened by it. One thing that I'm a big believer in is I don't really risk that much per trade. I'm risking small between 0.05 and 0.1%, because then it means I can have a collection of say 20, 30, 40 strategies all in the same portfolio, knowing that a single trade is not going to kill me, which makes the drawdown of each system significantly lower. So most of my systems only have like a 1% drawdown, and because it'll take a lot longer to get to 1% drawdown, by that time I've either analyzed it, made changes, or replaced them. So there's lots of things that you can do that mentally helps you if you're reducing less and build a portfolio. I don't know how you feel about that, Kieran, but that's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to add to what you said, because I feel like we're quite aligned on our approach and what we believe. But today is the perfect example of why portfolio is kind of necessary. I think, like, I got smoked all day, and then all of a sudden within 10 minutes this afternoon, the rest of my strategies had, turned a losing day into a winning day. And it's kind of like, I don't know, you're self-hedging every day. I don't know, it's a hard one to explain.
Yeah.
I'll leave it on what you said, because I think you hit the nail on the head perfectly. Plus, I was also running a Monte Carlo in that time, so I was like half listening, half not.
And here we go. We've got results on gold, and surprise, surprise, it works. That's not to give a, you'll find a lot of strategies can work on assets that are quite volatile. So the results here are actually not too bad. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised here. And this is what I would say is robust. It works no matter what ATR multiplier that we put across it, and it's very consistent. The difference between the best result and the worst result is 6%. And even the drawdowns, the difference is less than 4%. So this is something that we'll definitely take further next week. And it already looks like it could be the first strategy on our charity Darwin, Kieran.
Well, I've got one locked and loaded. So we're gonna have 2 so far, which is great. I might have another one as well. What do you think about that euro dollar system I sent you earlier, Blayn?
Is that the one that kind of had the little bit of a drawdown? Yeah.
Oh God, where did I send it?
What one? You sent me quite a few out of your gallery today.
Mine and Blayn's conversations all day is just sending each other screenshots of charts. No, not the one that I sent you last was one I built on dollar yen. That's a bit of a killer.
I think I know which one it was on about. Let me have a quick look at it again.
It was earlier today. I asked you for your opinion. The profit factor is good. The return was a little bit too low for what I would look for. But since 2022, it's just been on an absolute tear. It was kind of like before that period. I don't want it on XAQP. It doesn't give me that feeling. I appreciate that, Son of the King. XAQP is just crushing it. So cool to watch. I appreciate that. It's been many hours, days and weeks, sleepless nights gone into building XAQP. So I appreciate that massively. And hopefully these sessions are a bit of an insight into some of the things that go on behind the scenes for XAQP and IME and all of the other Darwins that Blayn and I have behind the scenes. Because I think Blayn has 3, I have 2, and we're going to put together this charity Darwin. So you guys are going to see how our thought process goes, what we look for, how we judge the success of things. And even, these sessions are probably going to be slightly different in 6 months' time, because hopefully at that point, the Darwin will have allocations, it will have taken performance fees, will have donated to charity, and it'll be more about managing it and how do we build that portfolio and how do we take it further and optimize it and add new strategies in. So I think these sessions are going to be great because, you'll see the full process from start, middle, finish. In fact, whilst it's on my mind, Blayn, I'm gonna message Javi and see if we can set it up through the business, so I don't have to pay tax and then lose all the money. Yeah, Quantum Ghost, you have hit the nail on the head. There is no holy grail strategy. There is only portfolio construction, diversification, and risk control. Perfectly said.
And nobody take these trades here down as signals. I didn't realise that it's the account I'm testing on is actually one of the Darwins. This is mainly with a test account, so I wouldn't hold weight on some of these trades. Right, we're gonna test NASDAQ next. So we've tested pound dollar, we've tested gold. Can we get 3 for 3? We'll test NASDAQ because we've got something from each of them, which is a good start. And again, it goes to show that just taking some of the resources that I shared last week, building them and testing them, you can actually get something that's not too bad. I'm going to go back to FX Rima and just go over this. Sorry, 2 secs. Let me just add 2 more things to it. Basically, what I built here is just the exact same system, a lot less complicated on a pending order system. This one on the right will be far much more quicker than what's on the left. But this just means that this is the way that I build things. Like, I like having these things because from here, what I would do next when I go live is I would then put a spread filter in here. I think, Kieran, you've learned a lesson from a spread filter before.
A big lesson. So just as an FYI, what Blayn is mentioning, some of you might remember this actually, when silver was starting to push all-time highs, it triggered me on a breakout trade. Price never got there, but because the ask price went way above, the bid price went way above and I had it set to bid instead of ask, it triggered me on a position that I shouldn't have been in, but spread was huge and yeah, never again. So at that point, I spent, a few hours going through all of my systems, adding a spread filter in and slippage filter in.
Yeah.
Innocent the man, hello there at Darwinex. Hello to you. Is the $602 package still working? I mean, subscription for strategy, quant X, and VPS, etc. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I've never seen a package, or at least we don't offer that package. I'm not sure if somebody else does, and then they forward the subscription onto Darwinex. So, I mean, feel free to drop some more information, but I'm not 100% sure.
Sorry, 26. Just so then people know that it's the exact same system. So yeah, this and this are both the exact same system. What I would go for is this, because then you're getting instant execution when it's happening, when it's crossing the high or the low of the past Monday to Thursday. From this, you can use your spread filter, because let's say it's happening while there's like NFP and the spread is like 20 and your stop loss is quite small. Like, you're gonna get slipped hard, that you're not going to want to get into the position at that price. So it's very important to have spread filters. And if you want to take it a step further, on a buy and sell button in FX Dreamer, you do have slippage. So you can put whatever slippage you would be happy with as well. Standards 4, obviously depending on the asset as to what you can put it to. Okay. But yeah, two exact same systems. This one is very easy to build, and I would suggest building and testing it in the pending order form. But if you're going to like the live sort of markets, especially, you need to look at potentially looking at the spread filters, slippage, instant execution, because from there you can add more sort of safety features onto it as well. I don't know if it's worth, Kieran, if I share this MQ5 file in the Discord, so then people can potentially take this away and see the difference between instant execution and pending orders. Don't know if it's worthwhile.
I wish I could send a reply in a GIF, and I'd send Shirley Booth going, "Just do it."
One thing I'd like to point out as well on Oxford Strat is some people might be wondering what these ratings are. Simply, it's how they've rated it based on returns against all the other metrics. So a C strategy will be better than a D strategy in their eyes. Personally, I would ignore the ratings, and like if it says B, or I don't think any of them say A, it does not necessarily mean that it's better to build those first, because it just means that collectively over the 42 markets, it's performed better. But you'll find some of these strategies perform pretty good on singular markets. So there's a lot here to go through. Some of them are the exact same strategy with the different fillers and exits. So you'll see like Smash Day here. I recommend building Smash Day. Try it on dollar yen. It's pretty simple to build. and pretty good. But just as a start point, you could spend the whole year just building these, and I think you would get something from it. Let's see how far away we are, 60%, so getting there. What is a good criteria to kill a strategy in a portfolio? So one thing that I like to do, I think Kieran would have probably went over it in previous episodes, is when I have a strategy that I'm trading live, I've also tested a Monte Carlo test, as well as like I think it's called confidence factor. I can't remember without having quant analyzer up. But basically, what I'll do is I'll run a Monte Carlo on it, I'll run a confidence level, and I'll look at the stagnation period. These are the three essentials that I look at for a strategy. So every time that I do a review, which is monthly or quarterly, depending on how the strategy is performing, is it within its stagnation period? Is it within its max drawdown on Monte Carlo? And is it within its max drawdown in the confidence rating? If it's within all these three things, I'll not remove it. If it's one of these things, so stagnation is an interesting one, because it could just be a new stagnation. What I would do is I would remove it and then put on a different account to see, is it just a new stagnation period, or is this, we're seeing like the erosion of this strategy. Same goes with drawdowns as well. It's always good to have like a second account, whether it's a demo or anything like that, to see how it performs after it surpasses these levels. Touch wood, only had to do it with one strategy so far in my 3 years, but I do expect over time that I will have to do it with those. But it's very good to have your own sort of process. That's my process. It's the way that I view it, because I know I'll be building so many more strategies. I'm sure you guys will as well, that you don't really need to worry too much about one strategy failing on you if you're building and you've got multiple strategies. So that's the one thing that I would say. You could be confident if you're building loads of strategies that if one fails, who cares? You've got loads more, and you will continue to build loads more. There is so much. There's an abundance of opportunities to build so many different systems that you'll never run out, in my eyes.
I see the market's moving as well.
Is it?
Yeah, my FTMOs are looking good again now. When was it that I got smacked? Oh, was it last week or this week? I got smacked on that gold trade. I can't even remember.
Last week, I think.
Yeah, it might have been last week. I can't remember if I spoke about it. I think I did speak about it last week. There we go. It's just closed a load of my trades. Great. Last week I had a rogue position on gold that it couldn't correctly work out the stop. So it just didn't place a stop, which, never ideal, but it is what it is. And I woke up short gold and down a hefty amount, and my FTMOs got hit hard. I was at like plus 9% or just over 9%, and I ended up at like 4.5% profit. So I'm back up at like 217K on both of my accounts. They're both 200Ks, both phase ones. And so, it's recovered nicely this week, but I'd have passed phase ones if it wasn't for that rogue trade. But it is what it is. We move on, and this is the purpose of having a portfolio: is that one trade or one strategy will never kill you. It will never break you. Just keep going. CSM, how you doing with the challenge so far, Kieran? Last time you was up around 5%. Yeah, I'm up. I mean, I don't know what percent that is. Let me load up FTMO. I was up 9%. And then, like I say, I had the rogue gold trade, which caked it, and then I actually recovered quite a lot on that week, which would have passed phase one. But now I'm up like because of the trade, I'm up 8.5%. In fact, Blayn, I'll send you a picture. Bring it up on your screen, just so that you can show. Because you can see where the rogue trade was. It's a bit gross. Yeah, I've just sent it you on Slack.
No worries.
Bring that up so that CSM can see, yeah, where it absolutely tanked. I hope FTMO don't come after me for like a consistent. Oh no, my consistency's still fine. I was like 98, but now I'm 91%. So that's fine.
Damn, look at that.
Yeah, yeah, that was. Can you make it any bigger? Yeah, so you can see where the blue line is. That's where my equity is right now. So I was slightly above that at just over 9%. You can see the green line is the target to pass phase one. And then yeah, that rogue trade almost killed me. But we've had a pretty steep recovery since. Which just January has just been super volatile. It's been fantastic for the strategies that I have. Super grateful for this January because it's been a blessing. So hopefully in February we get into phase two, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. Maybe March, April. I think I plan to be live by March originally. That road trade has probably set me back a month, I would say, because if I have a bad patch now, or if I have a bit of a drawdown, it's like, yeah. Yeah, it looks like a rug pull and then a CTO, like a community takeover. They've managed to recover it. But yeah, that's how it's going. I'll always be transparent. I'll always talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So yeah, it was a bit of a crap day. I can't lie, but it is what it is. And this is the point of trading with a long-term mindset, right? Is I could have lost my head on that day. I even contemplated it, like a thought went through my head, do I just increase the risk on all my strategies now to recover quicker? And then I was like, why would I even do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. I've got the winning formula. It's already working. I just need to give it time. And I'm glad I didn't touch it because I've recovered far quicker than I thought I would. And this is a marathon, not a sprint. So yeah, if it takes time, it takes time. Yeah, absolutely. I don't risk. I don't risk anywhere near 1%. I run it at the same risk level as my Darwin. So I mean, the max risk I'd probably put on a trade is like $600, $500, and that's on the more aggressive systems, maybe $800 or $900. So there's nothing that they can really come at me with for the risk. But I also have like 60 strategies or 61 strategies on my FTMOs. So that's why I can get away with risking so low. I'm sure one day maybe they'll come for me and they'll tell me that, they can't pay me out. But I've never had any issues with them before, and neither has Blayn. So it's around 1% in an hour. Okay, I didn't know that. But still, I don't trade enough to breach that rule.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe I do sometimes, but it's not like, no, I don't think I do, the way that my strategies are set up. And I think when I go live, I might drop the risk to perhaps 2% anyway, with the amount of strategies I have on.
That's what I do. I risk a lot lower, and literally never ever have to look at it. Just every month look at it and be like, okay, maybe it's time for a payout.
Yeah, I've used FTMO since 2020 as well. I passed my first. I was trying to find my certificates. Blayn and I was on a call with somebody earlier this week, and I was trying to find my old FTMO certificates, but I don't know where I've got them saved. I've got them saved somewhere. Like the old white ones, the white and blue before they went all fancy and made it all dark mode. I've got them somewhere, but I can't find them. I'm going to have to find them out somewhere because it's a little bit nostalgic. Yeah, I've got them somewhere. I'll see if I can find them. But I passed my first challenge, my first 100K in May 2021. And then I got an additional 200K in September 2021. And I held those accounts merged at 300K for 3 years. Yeah, and so like a lot changed in that time. And I didn't I did well. And, it was nice having those accounts for a long time. But I don't think I capitalized on it as much as I should have done, looking back. Yeah, they won't be making that mistake again. I'll see if I can find them in my on here. No, it won't be on here, will it?
So we run that test again on Nasdaq, and we got 3 out the 6 profitable, 1 pretty much break even. The reason I'm running a test is because I'm quite interested, because indices are so long heavy, to see if the results for the short side is terrible, and if it is, in that case, we can look into it next week. And it might be a long only strategy. I think sometimes, like, one of the things I'll do is, if it makes logical sense and it covers me, like, in terms of like a sort of like trend sort of way, or then I would trade long only on probably like indices and things like that. But that is a horrible start.
That time, Blayn, I've spent looking for these FTMO certificates is unreal. I still can't find them.
Oh dear.
May 2021. I've got the new ones, but they don't hit as hard because they don't have that nostalgic effect. Yeah, the time limit, in my opinion, was great, because I held into that one for 1 year since discontinued it, and everyone was enjoying their time limit. And I was resetting my 30-day challenge. I actually found that better. So I survived quite a few attempts, at least in the early days, before I probably should have taken an FTMO challenge. I survived quite a few attempts by getting to the last day, and then I would just sling it. Like, if I was down $1,000 on 100K or something, I needed to make 1%. I would just risk 5% and close the trade as soon as possible. And I got away with it, if you believe it or not. I never blew an account doing that. So I got super, super lucky. And then they come out with a no time limit. And I was kind of like, I don't actually think that's going to make any difference for them, because if I think about me, if I was still down 1%, I would have just carried on trading and probably wouldn't have reset it and passed. Like, I remember once I was down like 7% or 8% or something, and I did the same. I just risked like a lot and then pyramided in and managed to get it back to break even, and it's reset the next day. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see the stats about that and see how much it affected their pass rate, because I've read something before where they were talking about it wouldn't help it at all, because most people fail within like the first 3 days or something ridiculous, because people just buy a pack challenge and sling it, or maybe they used to do it more so than they do now. But yeah, super, super interesting. Sorry, Blayn, I'm going off on a tangent.
Sorry. I just couldn't even think of the old days when you had to do it within the 30 days. Like, the only good thing is, back then, like, if you ended out in profit, then you got to go again. You got to you got to do the next one. You're allowed to do days. Because I was like, I've got 2 days left. Where am I? 1% up. I was like, nah, I'll just leave it until next month.
Yeah, you could also sling it on the last day, and like, if you was up slightly, you could just use that profit to try and, as long as you ended above zero, it's fine. These are like the old prop days, like, they're long gone. There was never any worry of not being paid out, whereas these days, I mean, it's like.
Yeah, I'll not name names, but I have been rejected and banned from one before.
Blayn's playing with fire. Are you beefing, Blayn? Are you beefing?
I'm not gonna mention the name. I don't want to end out like a suit or something like that.
SUX. I find the no time limit a lot better. I mean, if you want to do it in 30 days or less, you can still do it, but no, it favors swing traders too. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the 30 days, or the no time limit 100% is the right thing, and it's a lot better. It's just I remember like that 30-day rule saving my ass on many occasions where I just sling it, and it's kind of like a reset in a way, where you just sling it, get back to break even, and then start again. Whereas, like, you wouldn't take that risk if you know that slinging it is going to blow the account.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the longest ones is I started one, must have been like June last year, and I went into my first like proper drawdown, so it took a year to pass.
I also held the FTMO challenge. I was saying that for 3 years. Almost a year of that was in drawdown as well.
Yeah, it happens, but well, at the end of the day, you've got other options out there as well. Darwinex being one of them, obviously, should be the main one.
The thing is, like, I mean, we're traders, right? You should try and raise capital in any way that you possibly can within, a regulated framework, whether that be Darwinex, props, trading your own capital, trading capital for investors. If you're regulated, getting a job, at, a professional desk, whatever it may be, you should be looking for opportunities to scale your capital. However, you should also have the capacity to be able to do that. If you don't have the capacity, then it's a chicken and egg problem.
Okay, I think we'll end on this one, Kieran, anyway. But this is us. That's us now done. This is our fourth one, and this is on oil, and I'm very impressed. Don't know if you're seeing this, but it's a 25% return with a 6% drawdown, which is
nice.
For a 1-to-1. It's just a 1-to-1 system. That's really, really good.
Blayn is that impressed that strategy will be on IME tomorrow.
Wow, I might spend the rest of the night just seeing what I can do with it now. I don't know how I've missed this, to be fair. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, this was the strategy that you said, it's got a positive edge, but it's not like the best, isn't it? That's what you said to me the other day. And now you're changing your tune. Now you're saying this is great.
Maybe I didn't look at oil before.
True.
But then maybe the drawdown happened at, like, I don't know. Sometimes you know what it's like. You can get all your profit in the first 2 years, then for the next 5, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Which, if we're at 25,000, I think this is going to be a prime example of that. That's probably why I'm not trading it.
CSM, how are you finding the SQX strategy so far? I mean, you have to go through a lot of rubbish to get something good, but I think when you get something good, they are generally really good. The thing that I love about it is the efficiency, like the efficiency of building systems on there. I would never replace the manual building just for SQX on its own. I would always have at least a combination of using strategy quant to kind of diversify my manual systems that I've built, but like I don't discriminate. Like I like building strategies both ways. But like I say, I'm far more efficient with SQX because I have my dedicated server, so I can leave it running overnight, over the weekends, like throughout the whole of the week, and then come back and my job is to break them and whittle them down. Are they as robust as you expect them to be? Yes and no. Yes, if I build them in a robust way and break them as hard as I can, or sorry, try to break them as hard as I can. The rogue trade that I had on gold was a strategy quant strategy. However, I built it for the M5 on gold, and I hadn't really taken much into account. It was okay. It wasn't the best strategy, but I was testing it, and yeah, got caught up in the test. So, yeah, they're robust. Only as robust as the strategies that I build. It's data mined instead of like me physically building them, but I'll continue to use them. I'm running them all live on LVFZ anyway, which is my second Darwin. And before any of them get moved to XAQP, like I'll wait to see how they performed live, if that makes sense. 68178.
So another trick that I would do when I'm like testing, so like we can see in this test from 2022, it's flat, and I'm trying to look at to see if there's anything. I think this is definitely where the manual trader comes in at times to see, is there any trades logically that just make zero sense as to why we're taking them? Because with algo trading, obviously it follows a set of rules. but you could add certain rules into them that make logical sense. So that's what I'm doing here to see is there any way that I can potentially improve it. And at the moment, I don't see much.
I'm so confused. I put it on the charity Darwin, didn't I? What an idiot. I built two ATR systems and I was calling one number 2, but I couldn't find number 1. I was like, huh? But I forgot it's I put it to the side for charity Darwin. Sausage. That's the problem when you build so many strategies and then you start adding into different portfolios. Is I've made quite a few mistakes, so I have to absolutely make sure that what I'm doing is right. So it takes a lot of checking, double checking, and triple checking before you set anything live. CSM, I plan to use SQX Ultimate to build my portfolio this year for FTMO and Darwinex, both the automated ones and building manually on SQX. Some of my ideas, I need to create my process first. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth sinking your teeth into. I like them, right? I think Strategy Quant is solid, and I'm actively using it. I wouldn't talk about it if I wasn't using it. Yeah, you just gotta figure out your process. It's not going to be the magic bullet for you. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes in on your end. You need to make sure that you're not just building the same system again and again and again. You need to make sure that you're doing a lot of robustness checks, because believe me, a lot of the stuff that SQX spouts out is total rubbish. I built strategies in batches of 10,000 before, and you don't even get a usable system sometimes with those 10,000. So you have to be really picky about what you want, which is super, super important. Where are you?
I think it's important just not to put every strategy to get profitable live just because you feel the sake of it. It's very important to just kind of go through the process of, just what I'm trying to do, whenever I have a profitable strategy. So next week, might take it further than gold, is I'm going to try break it to make it fail. And if I can't make it fail, then I know that it's a robust strategy. If you've done everything to it to kind of make it fail and it still works, you've got something there.
Yeah.
What advice do you guys have for me going forward as I'm transitioning from semi onto one strategy to multi-strat in terms of building process, management, and making some robustness and not overfitting? Just kind of follow the process as what we've explained today. Yeah.
I'm just setting up one more strategy on my FTMOs, and then I think it's probably putting me to 61 strategies, 62 maybe, and then we should be done. Yes, the ATR load.
Another way of checking robustness is using different data sets. So me and Kieran are trading on Darwinex. Naturally, we're testing on Darwinex data to make sure that it's going in line with what it is. You can use Dukas copycat data, and you will get different results. The lower the time frame, the bigger the results difference that you'll see. So if you're trading more higher time frame stuff, 99% of the time it's going to be all right. If you're trading on 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, you're going to see some big differences. That's the only thing that I would say when you're doing your testing. So if you're going to trade in Darwinex, make sure that you're trading on Darwinex, you're testing on Darwinex data. I've been testing IC Markets data, XAQP Darwinex data. Yeah, it's good to test the strategies across different data sets. Or what I do is I use Darwinex and then I copy trade from my Darwinex to my spread betting. So it's taking the exact same trades as the Darwinex. I do the exact same for FTMO. Because I found whenever I applied the strategies to an FTMO live, some of them didn't perform as well as what they were doing on my Darwin.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time as well.
Yeah.
My FTMO curve looks way different to my Darwinex curve.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you've got the differences in price, right? So sometimes my trades will trigger on FTMO and they haven't on Darwinex and vice versa, which can be a little bit frustrating at times because my FTMO has missed quite a few trades. But hey ho, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, most of them will still be profitable and they'll take different trades at different times. But yeah, I just like to keep it all using the same engine to trade. One thing to look out for as well in different brokers is, when you're doing your testing, if you're doing it on a higher time frame basis, make sure that it doesn't have Sunday bars. Make sure the Sunday is included in the Monday bar, because then you're getting at 6 bars instead of 5 on your testing, and you'll find that some brokers will have that. Some prop firms have that as well, deliberately, to make sure you can't apply EAs on a daily time frame as well. So be careful of that as well.
CSM said, do you guys use a personal account as a master to copy to Darwin and FTMO? So Blayn's master account is his Darwinex account, as he trades a live Darwinex account. My master account is my Darwinex Zero account. And then I also set that I don't copy trade to any other broker, because I don't like being liable to slippage when that happens and not being in control of the spread. I know you can set like max spread on like FX Blue Copy Trader, for example, but I got rinsed by that a couple of times, so I'm very wary of it. So I set up all my strategies on each individual account separately. But anyway, guys, I've just realized the time. My kids are about to get home, and it's going to be carnage. So I need to go downstairs and cook some dinner. But Blayn, I think this has been a fantastic session. I am going to get the charity Darwin set up hopefully for next week. In that time, if I can get it set up, I'm going to upload the strategies that I have and hopefully get started. I'll share the Darwin on the Discord, and then obviously we can recap next week, because it's still going to be in calibration phase for at least 3 weeks. So yeah, thank you, Blayn, for jumping on and joining me again today. And I look forward to next week's session where we start applying the strategies live and going further into this. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you everybody for being involved and for sending in your comments. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time for just a general market overview. Maybe we'll do some trading analysis as well, and just talk about markets. So we'll be back at 4 p.m. UK time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. Peace out, guys.
Yeah.